And welcome back as we continue our week-long deep dive into AI. That was Sun Microsystems co-founder Bill Joy with me back in 2019 on using AI in the real world, followed by Dr. Andy Pearl from the Hospital of Special Surgery with me from this week, the Hospital for Special Surgery, on using digital twins as we look ahead to the next revolution after intelligence and into what is being called as physical AI. Nvidia is leading the way of physical AI with top technology to build humanoid robots and real-world models to transform the American economy. Joining me now, the Vice President of Physical AI Simulation at Nvidia, Rev Lebaredian. Rev, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Maria.
And, you know, we started with Bill Joy talking about the intelligence part of this revolution, and that was, by the way, back in 2019. And then we hear from Dr. Pearl talking about digital twins in the physical AI world. Tell us, everybody knows that Nvidia dominates in chips, but do you believe that we're looking at a pivot into a new trillion-dollar-plus opportunity when it comes to physical AI or robotics or even autonomous machines?
Absolutely. If you think about what AI is, the manufacturing of intelligence, obviously this is extremely valuable. But so far, we've applied this intelligence to the information space, to knowledge work, to ones and zeros. If you look at our global economy, look at global GDP, the vast majority of it is dominated by industries that are very physical. They're about atoms, not about ones and zeros. The application of AI and this technology to the physical world, to enhancing those industries, is going to have the greatest impact. So this is what we're working on here. Physical AI is about building intelligence, building artificial intelligence that can understand the physical world, that can make decisions and plans about the physical world, and can act upon the physical world. Essentially, robots, vehicles, infrastructure, anything that's in the physical world that, if augmented by intelligence, can become more efficient and more productive.
Yeah, and we spoke with Jake Lucerarian earlier in the week from Gecko Robotics, and he's talking about doing those robotics, humanoids, really, on the battlefield. But I think what we're seeing play out is much broader than that, and in our ordinary everyday life. Is that right? Are you talking about actual humanoid robots in terms of the physical AI?
Humanoid robots is one manifestation of physical AI. It's a very important one, but it's not the only one. Essentially, any physical system where you have the ability for the system to sense the world, to input information about the world, understand it, and then make a plan and act upon it, is a robot of some sort. It's a physical AI system. Self-driving cars, autonomous vehicles, for example, they follow the same pattern. You sense the world through all of the cameras and radars and so on, and make decisions about how to act, whether to brake or accelerate or steer, and then act upon the world by actually doing those things. And you do that in a loop. Many systems in the world follow this pattern, and physical AI is the key to unlocking the potential of it, because although we had the ability to create the bodies for these robots for many years, we didn't have the capability of making a good brain. That all changed with the invention of modern AI and where we've been taking intelligence. And so really all physical AI is taking the AI that we've been building for the digital world and having it jump out of the screen and into embodiments. Humanoid robots are particularly important because a lot of the world that we've built so far has been built for humans. And so if we want a general robot that can help us inside most of the spaces and most of the industries that we've built out for humans, the humanoid robot is a natural one to place in those environments.
You know, Rev, it's all so fascinating, and I think we're also seeing that in the spending on AI in general, because it's a wave that's shifting from all of this money and investment into training those large language models that you say so many have been doing for so long, but now to deploying that AI into the real economy to see actual change and affect our lives. Tell me about that. Do you believe, because you said, look, it's a different ecosystem as well. Do you believe that the ecosystem around that physical AI will also change? And how does it change to best accommodate physical AI?
Absolutely. The physical AI ecosystem, by definition, has to be much larger and much broader. We're talking about the application of computing and AI to every industry in every domain in the physical world. So the ecosystems supporting this obviously have to be large. No one company can do it all. Our position in this physical AI ecosystem is pretty clear. We build the computing stack. We build the AI computing stack and the fundamental infrastructure to build the physical AI and to help deploy it. In order to make physical AI, you need three types of computers. You need the computer that trains the AI. This is what Nvidia is well known for. This is our current Blackwell generation and upcoming Vera Rubin computers that are being put into these AI factories and data centers everywhere. You need the computer that's in the robot, the one that's inside the vehicle, the one that's inside the humanoid. We built that as well, and our computers are widely used for this purpose already. And there's a third kind of computer, which is not as well understood, but equally important, which is the simulation computer. In order to train these AIs to behave properly inside the physical world, they need a training ground. They need some place to try things out and do so safely. You can't really do that in the real world. You don't want to unleash a baby robot brain into the physical world and have it try to drive a car without really knowing how to do that or operate heavy machinery inside a factory. So the way you do that is by essentially creating a simulation inside the computer that allows the AIs to train and to test inside the safe space. It's much like how we train our pilots. If you want to train a commercial pilot to fly an airplane, before you actually put them in the airplane, you put them in a simulator, in a computer simulator, much like a very advanced video game. And they get to train for many, many hours, many miles in a safe space, trying out scenarios that are maybe unlikely to happen in the real world, but very important that the pilot knows how to react to them in the real world, dangerous situations. So we do the same thing with AIs as well.
You know, it's moving really fast, and I want to get your take on which industries are best at deploying and adopting. But before I get there, we've talked a lot this week about security, particularly with the worries being raised over at Anthropic and others, and worries about agents acting unpredictably. So, Rev, what about that? What kind of framework or safeguards need to be in place to ensure that you can get ahead of agents acting unpredictably? I guess, is that what the simulation is all about?
Absolutely. We need to be able to create environments, simulate environments, so that we can test these systems and ensure that we have the right safeguards. We also need a diversity of technologies in order to be more resilient. Diversification in everything is always critical for success. We see that in biology. We see that in our supply chains. You see that everywhere. In order to be safe with these AIs that we're producing, we need both the proprietary frontier models and AIs that many of these companies are providing, but we also need open source. We need the ability for companies enterprises, companies, nations to have control and complete use and understanding of the systems that they're deploying. And it turns out in the case of this last breakout, the way they were able to detect and to solve and diagnose what had happened was by using an open source model. Because I believe it was the OpenAI model that had broken out. You couldn't use the OpenAI model itself to detect this. The most critical part of this was having an alternative that was in the control of Hugging Face to detect it. So this is really the key here. AI is so big, no one entity, no one company, no one enterprise is going to be able to provide all of it and control all of it. We need a diversity of models. We need a diversity of deployments and applications.
Yeah, I get that. And that's why what you're saying is it's so important to have those open standards so that you keep the innovation alive and moving rather than locking customers into one ecosystem. But let me get your take in terms of the timing here. How close do you believe we are to having, for example, factories where AI agents and robots are handling, all or most of the repetitive work? Is that a year away? Is that 5 years away?
The truth is it's already happening. I'll give you a few examples. In hospitals, we're starting to see Moxie robots deploy robots that can move supplies and lab tests, medicines around the hospital, freeing nurses and caregivers from these repetitive tasks so that they can focus on what really matters, servicing and helping the patients. We have Foxconn has built a world-class factory for electronics, actually building our computers, Nvidia's computers, in Houston, Texas. This was designed using physical AI, building digital twins of the factory before it actually came into being in the physical world. We trained robots that are currently deployed inside that factory in this simulation, and now we brought this amazing high value production back to the United States through this mechanism. Where we've also seen applications in areas you might not normally think of, like agriculture. We have Carbon Robotics they've created a robot that can zap weeds in a very targeted way using lasers, so we can reduce the amount of chemicals we use in our food production and increase productivity many-fold. That it's already happening. This is not some faraway thing, but it's going to happen industry by industry, task by task. We'll just see it. It's not going to be like one moment where all of a sudden there's robots everywhere for every task. We're going to see it move from these different domains into adjacent domains. And it's first going to go to where we have the most need, where we have labor shortages, where we have tasks that are very dull, repetitive, dangerous. And over time, we'll see these robots doing more for us.
Rev, what a time to be alive. We so appreciate your time, and I hope you'll come back soon.
Anytime, just call for me. I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. Rev Lebaredian joining us from Nvidia. We will be right back. Stay with us.